Hello, everyone. My name is Steve Przymus, and I'm an assistant professor of educational linguistics at Texas Christian University in Fort Worth, Texas. It's a pleasure for me to share with you in this prelude to Tucson for the Association of Academic Programs in Latin America and the Caribbean Conference. My presentation is called What's Up? English, Raising the Awareness of Implicit English Hegemony and Educational Injustice in Bilingual Schoolscapes. To get us thinking about what I'm going to talk about, I direct you to the picture we have here, which shows some signs in a hallway in a bilingual education school in North Texas. The signs they're two of the same signs. One is in English, but we can see all the English sign, and it's on top and to the left of the Spanish sign, which is covered by a large red and black English welcome sign. It sort of gets us thinking about what's the message behind how we portray languages in our schools. When my oldest daughter was 10, I was writing a paper on conceptual metonymy and immigration, and I asked her to draw me a picture of people waiting in a line. And after she was done, this was the picture she drew me, I said, "Does the line continue?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "How do you know that? The picture that you drew ends right here. How do you know the line continues?" And she said, "I just know." She was explaining, without realizing, what conceptual metonymy is. And conceptual metonymy is a cognitive process. It's a mental shortcut of understanding all of something without having to say all of it. So examples in language, we say the White House put out a press statement, and we know that the building didn't do it, but that the White House, as a place for government, metonymically stands in place for the executive branch. And we have other examples like the suits on Wall Street made a killing. Trump declares country is full of illegal immigrants or aliens. So much conceptual metonymy here, but I'll just point out that defining property, illegal for person, and non-person for person, aliens. So we use language, we use metonymy a lot in language to give messages. So the question is, what metonymies exist in our schools that we take for granted, especially in bilingual schoolscapes, and act to strengthen the hegemony or the power importance of English that undermines bilingual education and positive bilingual development. To get us thinking about multimodal metonymy, I ask people, what's the best? And people always say, well, the girl in the middle is. And it's largely, yes, she got first place, but she's also taller or up higher than the other ones and centered. People will say the big arm. Of course, it's bigger and stronger and also comes first, left to right. Directions are interesting. People will often associate north with up and south with down, but of course that's not the case. We could look at Earth from space and it might look like this. Directions are just directions and not up or down. But all of these do have a cognitive impact on how we see the world. And a colleague of mine, Gabe Huddleston, and I just published a paper introducing two new multimodal metonymies, directional metonymy, pointing out that signs in our schools that are up are going to be seen as good and bad as down, first as best, and so on and so forth. And then the font used on those signs for font style metonymy, bigger font, smaller font, nicer color, less popular color, different things like that. So I want to briefly talk about a study on bilingual schoolscapes and conceptual metonymy. First, Schoolscapes is a section or a field of linguistic landscapes that analyzes the material features and resources of educational contexts. And the study that we did is looking at bulletin boards both outside and inside of schools, school hallways and school classrooms, and analyzing bilingual signs for these two conceptual metonymies that might implicitly or subliminally promote English over Spanish, let's say, the other language. So we looked at 100 signs in 10 public schools in a large school district in North Texas. The demographics of the school district is a majority Latinx school district. 8 elementary schools we went into and 2 middle school high schools all had bilingual education programs. 96 out of the 100 signs we looked at, so we looked at the first 10 bilingual signs you would see upon entering each 10 of the schools, or all the 10 schools. 96% privileged English via directional metonymy. 77% privileged English using font style metonymy, and I'll show pictures here in a second. And 69% had both directional and font style metonymy. And here is an example from just one picture of one hallway. You can see English above the Spanish, English to the left of the Spanish, English bigger in color, Spanish in parentheses. Lots of implicit messaging going on here. Another example here, both signs are the same, but English is first and above the Spanish. Here it's an all English sign with a little bit of Spanish. Here the English is above the Spanish again, but also bigger. Here the English is both above and listed first of the Spanish and in blue, and Spanish is in red. Again, here Spanish or English blue, Spanish, the other side of the sign is red for Spanish and English on top of the Spanish. Research on how people feel about colors puts blue as the favorite color in Spanish, or yes, Spanish, red further down on popularity. And of course, we know that blue is often associated with calm, serene, peaceful, and red with anger, frustration, being in debt, or being out of compliance. So really important, these messages that we're showing. So what do we do about this? Can we envision a more heteroglossic way forward? How do we challenge the hegemony of English in bilingual schoolscapes? I think we can ask students to be critical consumers and co-conspirators, ask them to analyze their walls and the hallways at their schools, and have them create signs. Adopt a translanguaging stance, or the use of all languages without adhering to socially named languages at school, and thoughtfully include all named languages at school. Think about it, is the very least, is what I'm saying. So mille thanks. I welcome asynchronous responses to, via video or text, or synchronous Zoom social circle interaction at the Prelude to Tucson in February. Thank you.